Yeah, welcome, friends. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. We have seen the trending thing. We have seen what is trending all over the place. It's all about the JAMB mess up. What JAMB had done. Well, from the first clip we saw the registrar, taking praise and glory for a good work well done. But suddenly we saw a change in the speech, in tone, from taking praise of a job well done. We saw the registrar weeping and wailing and crying. And what had happened? Now he's taking blame of everything that went wrong in the last JAMB examination that the children took. It's unfortunate. So things went wrong actually. And the first thing he did was to take glory. Now, when people got fed up, when people started complaining, even students had to go to JAMB offices to protest with parents and teachers because they knew what they wrote. You know what it is? When you have written so well, and for some reasons you are expecting a wonderful result, and then someone or something, whatever they call it, glitch or whatever, because it has to be blamed on something. So the glitch took away the points, the result of the people. Hard working children who studied so hard to pass their exam and then gave them a different result. This result was there when the registrar was praising himself for a job well done. And it went so far that we even heard that a child, one of the girls, committed suicide. And most of them are so traumatized. Nan is taking the blame, but like so many Nigerians, they are saying that they do not want apology, they want resignation. I don't know what your opinion is, but you are entitled to your own opinion. So many people are calling for resignation and not apology, or probably the two combined, because that is the way it is done in the Western world. If you mess up, then you step out. Let another person try. That's the way it is.
Statistics from the 2025 UTME indicates a significant reduction in cases of examination malpractices. The various innovative measures introduced by the board are proving effective. We will not allow people, we will make sure that we, working with NIMSI and other agencies, ensure that we block this type of loopholes. Registrar of JAMB, I hold myself personally responsible including for the negligence of the service provider and I unreservedly apologize for it. And the trauma it has affected Nigerians to directly or indirect. I apologize and take full responsibility, not just in words. I want to say a big thank you.
The honorable thing to do is for the JAMB register to resign. So I'm coming to cry. Yeah. And the tragedy of this, there are reports that a 19-year-old girl committed suicide over this whole thing. What do you tell such parents? What? You know, when you see, it's just, you know, things like this, it's just like, it just tires you. It just bogs you down. And the Minister of Education, so-called Minister of Education, was out there telling the world that it was measures they put in place that stopped, that caused the failure, the measure to anti-cheating measures, according to him. But now we are coming to see that even this failure was targeted to a particular region in town. It's as if the southeast was where this whole thing, that's some of the reports that are coming out. And then in Lagos, where people from southeast also reside a lot. So what honestly, I think this is the time that we really need to sit down and scrap this whole institution. This whole JAMB institution, it has outlived its usefulness, and it's time to wind it down and just let people enter university in the other way that they're going to enter. Whew. I'm just thinking about those children. You know, when you are a teenager, that's the age where you're so hopeful, you're so impressionable, you're so at this thing, and then they just see this whole system coming at them. And tomorrow somebody we stood on the pulpit, just the way Pastor Poju stood the other day, to now tell people that they are being engineered to hate Nigeria. In the video I did in response to him, I said, look, people don't even hate Nigeria enough. You need to hear people's story. You need to hear what Nigeria has done to a lot of people, the dreams that they've killed. First of all, you are a small, you're a teenager, you're growing up, you're being told that you have to get 200 and something or 300 cut-off mark. Somebody else will just get 100 or less than 100 and they go. How does that work? These are the things that we experienced and we handed over to our children. We are not stopping all of this from happening. I remember arguing with my dad and telling my dad, why do I need to, they say the federal government college. I'm saying, why do I need to? I was around 9, 10 at that time. Because I'm from Edo State. I was born and brought up in Kano State. I wasn't given a different whatever. Even though I was still living in Kano, I went to school in Kano, I had to bring a higher score than my counterpart who was from Kano. We were in the same class. Because as a child, I was very vocal. And to say that up till now, over 40 years after, those situations are still on. JAMB is messing up people. Do you know what this does? What this would have done to the psyche of the children? Now, why a child, the report is out there that the child has committed suicide? You're coming to come and share this and this thing? Is this the first time? Because now people are even bringing the issue of Mesoma and say that maybe she was bullied. Maybe she was right because she had said she knew what she wrote and all of that, the result she had, and then they came and they said whatever. To the extent she had to apologize. That apology, now people are asking questions, and these are right questions to ask. Was it really because, you know, she truly had done something, or because, like, you know, trust the usual Nigerian to just say sorry and move on? I'm glad there were a lot of people who stood on this issue. Because I saw parents went to JAMB. There's Alex Oniya of Educate. He took this thing on. Another thing, they've gone to court. You have to fight for yourself. You can't just sit down and allow people just do anyhow, anything. And they get away with it. For how long has this been happening? For how long has JAMB been doing a lot of these things? That's the question we need to ask again. Beyond this only, there needs to be more investigation on what has really been going on and for how long this has been going on. Probably this is now when they say the camel, is it what they call it, the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe this is what it is right now. And you could see a lot of videos. There were a lot of videos of children talking and saying, no, we know what we wrote, we know what we did. And then the JAMB Twitter handle coming out to write some very disgusting message. They didn't even take the responsibility that they're supposed to take. I think when I say things, I make sure that as much as possible they are factual, or what I see being reported. That JAMB, this whole JAMB failing of students was mainly orchestrated in the southeastern part of Nigeria and in some parts of Lagos where people from the southeastern part of Nigeria are domiciled. Usually these are, kind of conspiracy theories people are talking about, like, I beg, but this is too much. Remember the other time when they did this, I think it was the loan, whether the loan that was being loaned, and there was no university from the southeastern part of the country that, as of that time, I don't know whether they've rectified it now. We did talk about it because many of the problems that happen in Nigeria, we don't even get to follow through and ensure that, what's happening there. This is crazy. That it is not just to say, oh, this is a general JAMB thing, you understand? But now that it was actually directed to one region, now this one has gone beyond be careful. Yeah, it really has gone. Just like we saw the so-called glitch that happened during presidential election, where it did not affect House of Representative members election, it did not affect senators election, even though they were done the same day, the same time. The results were being uploaded at the same minutes, within the same seconds and minutes. It was only presidential election that was affected. And there was a statement that the so-called Minister of Education made, and he said that it was measures that they had put in place to stop cheating that led to the mass failure. That means that something was actually done to create that mass failure, because that's what he admitted. I remember talking about that. I was like, what's wrong with this person? I mean, people have failed. Instead of you to look at the fact that the educational system, there's a problem with it, that people are failing this massively. It's in one of these videos that I've done. And then you're coming to say that it was measures. So now it makes sense. Because what he more or less have alluded to is that there was a deliberate sabotage to get certain children who are teenagers, who have done nothing wrong to anybody, who are living their life, their innocence. You want to take it away. What kind of a sick nation does that to its own children? You want to eat your children. Who does that? Lord, have mercy. So some people deliberately sat down and thought this thing. Because if there's going to be a glitch, why is it on one side? Why such a one-sided glitch? Why is it not everywhere? And I'm so grateful to Alex Onia. He took this on. He said no, they went to JAMB. Now JAMB registered, JAMB has have to apologize. Meanwhile, they say a child has already taken her life. Are you going to replace that child for the parents? There's a report that a 19-year-old committed suicide. And the video I did yesterday when I talked about, JAMB being scrapped, I mentioned something. I said, look, when you do OBJ, you know when you've passed. When you pick your questions, You know when you've done well. You know the ones you know. Okay, essay, let's even say essay too, you know, but let's even say essay because it might be dependent on the person who is marking, the person's mood, what he's looking for. But OBJ, objectives, multiple choice question, that you are picking the answer, you know when you have.
What actually disheartened my heart, what actually makes me the most unhappy person, is the fact that I heard that a girl committed suicide. I mean, this is too wrong. This is too wrong. It's not supposed to be. This is terrible. And that's why I have been advocating that our children must be educated in the things of the Lord. What is JAMB? An examination that you can still take. Assuming that whatever went wrong, you can still retake that exam in months' time. In months' time, you can still retake it. What will move you to commit suicide for God's sake? And I think this is lack of the knowledge of God, because if we are knowledgeable about the Word of God, this shouldn't be. Committing suicide for what? Why should you commit suicide? Do you know the implications? Our children must be taught in the values of Christianity. That's if they are coming from Christian background, which I think I'm yet to find out the name of the lady or the girl who did that. But it shouldn't be. There is nothing you can use to compare to life. But actually, it goes, it goes on to express the depth of disappointment that these children felt. It goes on to show the depth of pain that they are going through. It's a pity.